Get off my ships. They're just my sandals. I don't know why I say that. So, this is number 152 YouTube Live Yoga Routine. And before we begin, I want to share something that I was watching this morning on YouTube. From the YouTube channel, Let the Quran Speak. And the title, can't speak yet. The title of the video was, or is, Why Do Muslims Pray 5 Times a Day? Dr. Shabir Ally. And the video was only 1 minute and 10 seconds long. And it was a video of Dr. Shabir Ally being asked, why do Muslims have to pray 5 times a day? Doesn't this seem like a huge burden? And in short, Dr. Shabir Ally explained that what helps it not become a burden is when praying 5 times a day becomes routine. Because when it's a routine and it's part of your day, when you miss it, miss a prayer, you feel like you're missing something. That's what Dr. Shabir Ally explained. And then he goes and explains that there's a great benefit to praying 5 times a day, which he states, it keeps you continually connected to God. Now, he didn't explain this, but personally, I believe that continuous connection to God also helps the prayer, praying 5 times a day, to not become a burden because you want to stay connected to God. So you look forward to praying. You look forward to staying connected to God. Now, there's other things that helps the prayer, praying 5 times a day. I call it the prayer because that captures 5 times a day, praying 5 times a day. But the other things that helps praying 5 times a day to not become a burden is social support. So when you're around others who pray 5 times a day, where you're part of a community, part of a family that prays 5 times a day, this all helps. And what also helps is if you believe that you must pray 5 times a day. That must might throw it off and make it seem like a burden. But if you have that belief that you should stay connected to God 5 times a day, then that helps too. Now, what does this have to do with yoga? I'll put my phone up. Well, from the video, Dr. Shabir Ally mentioned routine. I explained the other things in my opinion, but with his video, routine is very important because it makes you feel like you're missing something and you're not when the prayer becomes routine. And that has to do with yoga because when you're on the yoga mat every morning, and I do it every morning at 5:30 to 6, if I were to miss a day, I would feel like, man, I'm missing something. So just routine in itself helps something not become a burden. Now, sometimes having to come out in my garage and pray at 5:30, do yoga at 5:30, does it feel like a burden? No, it doesn't. It feels like I have to do it. I have to do it. And that must, isn't a burden anymore because it's part of a routine that I do every single day. And I've been doing it for 152 days. And I find benefit in it. Just like the prayer. When you find benefit in it, you will continue to do it. So I find it's part of the routine. Therefore, it lessens the burden, feeling that doing yoga every morning is a burden. And I find benefit, which helps it not become a burden. Now, Is there some days where I feel like, man, I shouldn't just, man, I wish I did. I'm into something like I'm grading. In the morning, I grade before I come out here. I grade all the stuff my students turn in. It's not all the time, but most of the time I grade. Then do I feel like, man, I need to break that? Yeah, I feel like, but that's not a burden. That's not a burden. So anyways, and it has to do with because we're supporting our Muslim family, which is part of the one truth, many paths. That's yoga too. Yoga is more than the poses. It's a mindset of one truth, many paths. Satchitananda. Swami Satchitananda. So today we're going to do mount pose, 2 slow moving sun salutations. I was going to say moving meditations, with which the sun salutations are a moving meditation. And I will explain that as we move through the sun salutations. And then we'll settle back into the mountain pose, focus on our breathing, and then close it up. So let's go ahead and begin. Mountain pose, feet are shoulder width apart, toes go up. Spread the toes as wide as you can. As wide as you can. Each toe touches the floor one at a time. Knees are bent, hips are tilted, arms are relaxed, shoulders are relaxed. Neck is relaxed. And the mountain pose is very important because you're finding that spot where the skeleton is just standing. So if you were just your skeleton, you're lining up the bones where the skeleton just stands by itself. No tension anywhere. And just focus on the breathing. Think of nothing else but of the breathing. Then you're going to watch yourself breathe. Watch yourself breathe. There's 2 ways. Well, there's more than 2 ways, but 2 ways I will explain. You watch the belly go in and out as you inhale, exhale. So when you inhale, the belly expands. You exhale, the belly goes in. You watch that, or you bring your focus to the tip of the nose and watch the air go in and out. And what will happen is that you'll start to control the breathing. When you realize, hey, I'm controlling my breathing, let go and just watch it. You're already breathing automatically. So just watch it. Let go of control. Don't control it. And then what will happen is that you'll start to think about other things. And when you realize, hey, I've been thinking about coffee. I've been thinking about work. Don't judge it. Just thoughts. And then just bring your focus back to watching yourself breathe. And then what will happen? You'll start to think about other things again. And then when you realize you're thinking about other things and not your breathing, bring your focus back to your breathing. It's a process. And what will happen is that you'll realize you're the thing that's watching your thoughts. You are not your thoughts. And it's very important to understand. When you realize you're not your thoughts, then you're the master of your thoughts. You can control your thoughts. You can create a mindset of all positive thoughts. And get rid of all the negative thoughts. Bring the palms together. Thumbs to the heart center. Push the arms out, up and back. Inhale, inhale as much as you can. Nice and easy. It's the first stretch. And then exhale. As you exhale, you hinge forward from the lower back. Arms are reaching out. And you're just going to fall into the ragdoll. With the ragdoll, the arms are dangling, the head is dangling. You just relax into it. In this pose, you're not pushing down, you're not pulling yourself down. You're just accepting, letting the body go where the body goes. This is an important mindset to have. You're accepting. So when you get off the yoga mat, you have a mindset of acceptance. Now, that doesn't mean you take negativity, somebody's being negative to you. That means you accept that person as being negative. but you don't accept it within yourself. You don't let that negativity become you. You accept that it's happening. You don't try to control it. You just watch it and keep your peace. Very important mindset to have. Now you're going to bring the palms to the calves, elbows into the sides of the legs. You're going to arch the back, raise the head. Inhale as much as you can. And exhale. As you exhale, you pull yourself in and down. Push all the air out. Get all the air out. And again, arch the back, raise the head. Inhale. Then exhale, pull yourself in and down. Push all the air out. Get all the air out. Again, arch the back, raise the head. Inhale as much as you can. Then exhale, pull yourself in and down. Push all the air out. You're going to do two more. Arch the back, raise the head. Inhale. Then exhale, pull yourself in and down. Push all the air out. Last one. Arch the back, raise the head. Inhale. Then exhale, pull yourself in and down. Push all the air out. Palms to the sides of the feet. Left leg is back into a low lunge. With a low lunge, top of the foot to the floor. Knees to the floor. Hips are square, pushing forward diagonally. Back is arching. When the back arches, the hip bones push forward diagonally. Back arches, head goes up and back. Or the back is straight. The back is straight. You're reaching out. You're making sure the front knee is not over the toes, and you lengthen up if it is. And you're to your palms, maybe to your fingertips. Maybe you're like this. Doesn't matter. Wherever you are, you're going to accept it. You're going to let go of judgment. So if you feel like, man, I'm closed up, let go of that. That's not what we're doing. That is a barrier that will prevent the mind and body from becoming one. You're also letting go when you get into the pose and you feel like, man, I'm doing this perfectly. That's also judgment. That's awesome. It's great. But that, excuse me, that's not what we're doing. Let go of all judgment. Let the mind and body become one. When the mind and body is one, that is yoga. So no matter how the pose looks, no matter if you're washing dishes, I always say that. I like that. No matter if you're cutting the grass with a lawnmower, no matter what you're doing, if your mind and body is connecting with that activity, you're doing yoga. The poses is just what we do on the mat in order to practice that every morning. It's a routine, like Dr. Shabir Ally was saying, in regards to prayer. It becomes part of the routine of your day. Now, we're going to go to high lunge. We're just going to stay in the high lunge for a second or so, using it as a transition pose. So toes curl under in the back, knee goes up, get the leg as straight as you can in the back, and then you're going to go into downward dog. With the downward dog, arms are straight, legs are straight, tailbones to the ceiling, heels are towards the floor, and you're pushing into the pose. But you're only pushing to the spot right before you feel like, man, I shouldn't go any further. Find that spot, settle there, and accept where you are. Now, this is an important pose because you're listening to the body. You're doing that in every pose, but here you're listening to the body. So if you're in the pose and you feel like, man, I should go a little bit more. Go a little bit more. You feel like, man, I should bring myself out of it. Bring yourself out of it. Learn to listen to yourself. You're becoming your own guru, your own leader. We're doing yoga together. I'm not your leader. I'm not your teacher. I'm not your guru. I'm just telling you what we're doing together. Learn to listen to yourself. And that's a mindset that's important, because when you go off the yoga mat, you want to learn to listen to yourself. You don't just follow others. just do what they say. No, you listen to what they say, talk it over with yourself. If you believe in God, you talk it over with God. Then you decide what to do. Very important. Go down to the knees and chest, slide up into upper dog. Now with upper dog, tops of the feet are to the floor, palms are to the floor. If this is too much, you're going to go to hands and knees, and you're going to arch the back and do the cow. Or you go down to small cobra and bring your chest off the floor. No pressure on the hands. The hands are touching the floor, but you're not using them. Or you just do the upper dog and do it best you can. And you settle, and then you focus on the breathing. Accept where you are. Think of nothing else. If it's too much, you bring yourself out of it. Listen to your body. Learn to listen to yourself. Then back to downward dog, pushing into it. Really push into it. And push to the spot right before you feel like, man, I shouldn't go any further. Accept what that is. And then just focus on the breathing. Think of nothing else but of the breathing. And when I'm silent, I don't think of the breathing. I think, man, I need to get some music. I need to get some music. I know nobody's watching this video, but if you're happen to watch this video at this right time, and if you know, tell me how I can get music without copy infringement or whatever it's called, copyright infringement. I don't want to get my videos pulled from YouTube, but I want music. It's a big learning curve for these YouTube videos. I need to learn all the details. First, I need to get a better mic, better camera, soundproof the room, get some carpet. I got a lot of work to do, man. So with a low lunge, top the foot to the floor, knees to the floor, hips are square, pushing forward, arching the back is straight, or the back is straight. So you're arching the back or having the back straight. If the back is straight, you're elongating, you're reaching out. If it's arched, you're scooping. Make a big scoop. And just feel open. Openness is a mindset. So no matter how you think, you're feeling, hey, I'm closed up. Let go of that mindset. Feel opened. The body does not dictate whether your mind is open or not. Very important, because when you go off the yoga mat, you want to feel opened. You want to experience openness. Allows for new thoughts, new adventures. It's just a great way to live your daily life where you feel open. I was going to say the word bright, but you do feel kind of like a brightness, a light when you're open. And that comes from acceptance too. Acceptance is very important. Now I'll explain acceptance in the next yoga pose. Well, the second to the next. So go into high lunge, just as a transition pose. Then move into the standing forward bend. Palms to the calves, elbows into the sides of the legs. Pull yourself in and down, and you're focused on the breathing. Now, openness is occurring here because it's a mindset. The body is closed up, but that does not dictate whether you feel open. And the way you feel opened in a so-called closed pose is that you accept where you are. When you accept, boom, openness happens. Acceptance allows you to feel opened. The body does not dictate whether you are opened. Acceptance. So when you get off the yoga mat, you feel this openness, this acceptance. You're accepting what's happening. You're open to what's happening. Now, again, that doesn't mean you accept negativity. Doesn't mean you take in negativity. You accept it. You're open that it's happening. And the world just feels bigger. Palms together, reach out, up and back, inhale. Curl the palms out. Push the air down and out. And again, inhale. Exhale. As you exhale, you hinge forward from lower back, reaching out. And then standing forward bend, pull yourself in and down. Forehead's going to the knees. Again, accept where you are. And you're focused on the breathing. 100% focus on the breathing. And then when you're focused on the breathing, that heightens your awareness. It lets you know what's going on in the body. It lets you know what's being stretched. Maybe you have a so-called issue in the lower back, or in the knee, or the calf, wherever. But you're not focused on that stuff. You're aware of it, but you're not focused on it. And what happens is that you learn that you are not your so-called issues. Palms to the sides of the feet. Left leg is back into a low lunge. Again, low lunge, feeling opened. Open up. Mindset. You open up in the pose, but you also open up in the mind. You don't let the body dictate how the mind thinks, which is a mindset you take off the yoga mat. You don't let things that happen around you dictate how you think. Your so-called issues that you may feel in your knee, like for me, I feel it in my shoulder. My shoulder aches, but I'm not the ache. I'm not the so-called problem. I'm aware of it. I handle it. I'm actually working on it, getting it better, but I'm not that. I'm open. I'm one. Capital O. Oneness. Part of the oneness. Just accept where you are. Again, when I say silent here, I always think, man, I need to get some music, man. I'll do some beatbox. Probably shows my age. Fat Boys used to do that. I used to listen to Fat Boys when I was younger, as a kid. They did beatbox. And then a high lunge. Settle in the high lunge just for a second or so. Then downward dog, pushing into it. Really push into this pose. And then when you push into it, accept where you are. Just focus on the breathing. Think of nothing else but of the breathing. You slide into the upper dog, drop down to the knees and chest, slide up or modify it how you have to, and feel opened. And if the pose has become a little difficult, and you're like, man, you're starting to shake or something. Sometimes my arms shake and I'm not even fatigued. Just bring yourself out of it a little bit. It's okay, as long as the mind and body is connecting. The mind and body is connecting, you're doing yoga. You're listening to your body. Yoga is when the mind and body connects. Yoga is not the pose. That's hatha yoga. That's part of yoga. But that's not yoga. Then back to downward dog, pushing into it. Last downward dog. So if you can, push as far as you can. You get to the spot right before you feel like, man, I shouldn't go any further. And if you feel like it, go a little teeny further. Only if you feel like you can, because sometimes you can, sometimes you can't. And just listen to your body. So you're feeling like, man, Charlie, I'm not going further. That's awesome. That's what you need to do. Listen to yourself. Don't listen to me. We're doing yoga together. I'm telling you that we're in the downward dog. I'm suggesting, hey, if you can, do this. But if you can't, then don't. Learn to listen to yourself. In this pose, the head is dangling. No tension in the neck. And then bring your left foot up between the hands and feel open. Low lunge. Listen to the body. Feel open. So get in the pose, settle, accept, and just feel open. Let go of judgment. Let go of trying to be somewhere. Let go of thinking, hey, I need to do the pose like this. Hey, I need to do this. I need to get coordination. I need to get flexible. All that stuff will happen. Just focus on being opened. Focus on the breathing. Don't focus on the being open. Focus on the breathing, which allows you to know that you're open. I worded that wrong. Sorry. The coordination, flexibility, all that will happen. Mind and body exercise here. That stuff is secondary. It will happen. And that's not what you're focused on. That stuff, again, will happen. Then you're going to go to high lunge. You go to high lunge, settle here for a second or so, then standing forward to bend. Pull yourself in, down, foreheads go to the knees. And this pose is still important. Awesome, awesome pose. Because what's happening here is that you become aware of subtleness. So if you're focused on your breathing 100%, you become aware of the subtleness of when the belly expands with air when you inhale, and then when the belly goes in when you exhale. So when you inhale, the belly expands, it pushes you out of the pose slightly. When you exhale, the belly goes in, you go back into the pose. Let that happen, and it becomes a subtle movement of the body moving. You become aware of that subtleness. You're not focused on it, you're aware of it. So when you're off the yoga mat, you're aware of subtleness. You're aware of subtle things that are happening around you. That's part of the acceptance. That's part of being open. It's all oneness. I'm just splitting it up with words to make it make sense. Probably messing it up. It's an experience. Can't really be explained by words. It can be explained by words, but you got to experience it. Palms together, reach out, up and back, inhale. And then exhale. Palms out, push it down and out. Then you're going to go to mountain pose. Now with mountain pose, remember, feet are shoulder width apart, toes go up, spread the toes as wide as you can. As wide as you can. And just focus on the breathing. Think of nothing else but the breathing. Now remember, you're lining the body up, so you lengthen up, and then you let the bones settle on top of each other where the skeleton just stands by itself. You just focus on the breathing, watching yourself breathe. Think of nothing else but the breathing. And we're just going to stay here a little bit longer, so just watch yourself breathe. Bring your palms together. Namaste. Get tired. Not tired. Relax. So, mountain pose is an important pose. I still like the easy pose. You close up a yoga routine in the easy pose because you could do the yoga seal. But I like the mountain pose because it centers you. You become one like a mountain. And that is the important part about the mountain pose, is that you gain a mindset of stability, of being one with the earth, just like the mountain. The mountain is one with the earth. And that's what we are, one with the earth. And we realize that in the mountain pose. And it settles you. Anyways, we got tired. Sorry. Just at the very end. Not tired, relax. Keep on saying tired. I will see you tomorrow at 5:30 a.m. Arizona time, Mountain Standard Time. So namaste, peace and love.